All hail the queen. All hail the queen. Yes, yes, yes. So I
Good
clicked my
morning.
button a little bit too soon. I was just trying to wrap up Pastor Tara, but this, I'm telling you, this summit has been amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm so excited. I'm clicking extra buttons. But
Yes.
look at you. Look at you. Oh, Miss Camay is here. The queen is in the building. How are you, love?
I'm just fabulous. I'm so fabulous this morning. I was catching the last part of, Tara's sermon this morning, and just so moved by, what she was sharing and how she was empowering us. Just so amazing. I'm so glad I was able to catch it. Just so great.
Absolutely. So let me tell you guys a little. First of all, let me tell you how I met Miss Camay. So we met at an event, and she was speaking, and I just love what she was saying. She's again being transparent and being honest about her journey and how she got to where she got to. But I had met her before she had met me. So my friend was also going through the plus size pageantry. And so I got to meet Camay. I got to see her on stage and everything while I was supporting my friend. And then that was the second time I had met her, and her first time meeting me. But again, we hit it off. We've talked before and had some conversations and just been following one another on social media. And for me, when I think about girlfriend, you are gifted. Remember, it's a declaration and an affirmation. So you affirm yourself. You say, girlfriend, I am gifted. But then you also say to your friend or your girlfriend, and it doesn't even have to be someone you know. You can just say, girlfriend, you are gifted. And Camay, I know that you are gifted. I know that for a fact, 100%. But let me tell the viewers a little bit about who Miss Camay is. Okay. So Miss Camay International was founded by Miss Camay in 2013 after she was crowned a lifetime queen in plus size pageantry. She experienced the power of wearing a crown by coaching and mentoring other women to national titles around the country. That's that champion mentality. Right. This structured the foundation of the entity as the umbrella company for Miss Camay's vision of making a difference and impacting the world. The CEO and international best-selling author, Miss Camay, cherishes her adolescent vision of purpose and intention to improve the communities we live in by providing professional legal consulting solutions, top-notch estate planning document preparation, notary public service in Nevada, and national subject matter expert support to target of workplace bullying. This comes through networking and partnering with like-minded individuals, providing first-class care with a lifelong commitment of building relationships that improve our quality of life. MCI and its affiliates see a world where every person has the same opportunity to utilize their divine gifts and walk in greatness. Miss Camay is empowered with years of subject matter expert experience that supports and sponsors national pageant systems, the plus size movement, and several women empowerment platforms around the country. Miss Camay has curated personalized delegate coaching and small business consulting exclusive to the MCI brand, offered to elite professionals who are serious about mastering their craft. So welcome to the summit, Miss Camay Dunn, the People's Advocate.
Thank you. Wow, what a warm, warm welcome. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Absolutely. And so we have talked, and again, these conversations, I booked these times for us to talk for 15 or 30 minutes, and again, we went in. I mean, we talked for hours and just really kind of getting to know each other a little bit more. And so I know I wanted you to really talk about what your gifts are, and we'll go more into detail about that beautiful crown that you have on your head. So tell us about your gifts. Talk about your gifts.
Well, Frankie, I will tell you, without getting emotional, my gift is my voice.
Mm,
And I found my voice through pageantry, through being able to stand at a podium and speak with power, speak with authority. I never realized my gift until I had progressed and journeyed through the pageant industry, hence the crown and sash, my regalia today. There's a biblical foundation in pageantry. If any of you have read the book of Esther in the Bible, it talks about her journey uh, for an entire year and how she, presented herself to the king to be chosen. And when she was chosen, that she saved her race of people. She saved her community. She didn't save other royals, right? She didn't save other kings and queens. She saved her community. And despite what goes on in pageantry and the craziness, right? The biblical foundation of pageantry is very serious to me. When you walk into a room in regalia, right, you're noticed. It's a responsibility. It's not something to to play around with, right? And you have to be very careful what you say, and you have to be very calculated and very strategic in the message that you want to share.
mm,
Because the bottom line is, and I know you know as well as I do, you're a woman of faith, right? The tongue is dangerous,
mm-hmm.
right? We can really ruin somebody for the rest of their life by saying the wrong thing and using our tongue, in the wrong way. And so, my biggest gift in life is my voice. When I was young, I was an introvert. I was very withdrawn, and my mother used to, tell me like, "You're going to sit here until you tell me why you're upset or what's wrong with you." And I just never knew I had a voice until my
Mm,
pageant journey. Um, about 2 years into my pageant career, I had a schoolmate reach out to me, Frankie.
mm,
She reached out to me through my website, and she said to me, we rode the bus together, and, you lived on this street, and kids were picking on me, and, you told me not to let what they said affect me. You told me to keep living my life.
mm.
And I never remembered this girl, Frankie. I never remembered her. Even when she reached out to me, I still didn't remember or recall who she was. And so it was that moment, honestly, in my active pageant reign, that I realized that this is my assignment.
Come
We're
on.
talking about we're given assignments in life, right?
Right, right.
God gave me this assignment. I was born with this, and I have been doing this my entire life. But it was
Mhm.
through pageantry that I realized that my gift was my voice.
Absolutely. And being able to speak up and speak out for people. And I know that that is one of the things that you, and even before pageantry, because I think we were talking about when you did the other summit where I met you, was the bullying. So, can you talk about
Mm.
how your gift made room for you to now talk about something that was actually happening to you?
Yes, yes. I found myself in 2014 being bullied in the workplace. And at first, I didn't identify with what was happening. I just kind of chalked it up to a new attorney coming into the office and not necessarily knowing their role, and really challenging me in my role. And after about 4 months of kind of ongoing shenanigans, I'll call them, I realized my mental health was being adversely affected by what I was going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I, I was compelled to talk about it. My spirit was stirring. And at the same time, I was concerned about, if I speak up about this, what's going to happen to my legal career?
Right.
What's going to happen to my employability, right? And my doctor had pulled me out of work, and I was having lunch with a very good friend of mine, Mark Ray Thibodeau. Shout out to Mark Ray, very, very dear friend of mine. And I was sharing with her what I was experiencing. And she said to me, Camay, you are the person to talk about this. You are the one to share this message. You have to do it, she told me. You have to do this. There is no other choice for you. She goes, I don't know, how it looks, how that looks, or how you're going to do it, but this is your responsibility. You have to talk about this. You have to save other people who are going through this exact thing. And at the time, Frankie, back in 2014, no one was talking about bullying in the workplace. There was nothing online. And myself, working in the legal field, I just knew that it had to be illegal, right? There were components of what I was experiencing that really met the burden of proof in a lawsuit, in a civil lawsuit. So upon my research, when I discovered that this was absolutely legal, I was horrified. And I knew at that moment that my friend, Mark Ray, and my spirit being stirred, that I had to do it. I had to speak out about it. And I will tell you, here I am, however many years later, I am relentless in my pursuit of life. I am not afraid to speak up. I am not afraid to say it like it is. I'm not afraid to call it out. And I had to make a decision, Frankie, back in 2014, 2015, if I came out, publicly and spoke on this topic, who would hire me? That was a concern of mine, because my career is a career for me. I'm college educated. I hold 2 degrees. I didn't just stumble into the legal field. I intentionally put myself in this arena. And so I was concerned about my employability. I was concerned about who would hire me, which really drove me to be my own business owner, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. And I made the decision that if an employer was going to pass me over because I was using my voice and I was going to speak out about, wrong behavior in the workplace, then that's not an employer that I want to work for.
Come on.
So I was convicted in my decision. And again, just going back to my spirit being stirred and understanding how powerful my regalia is, how powerful my voice is. People are listening to me. People are watching me. Women are looking at me for, suggestions, for guidance, for direction. So I directed a fashion and entertainment event in 2015. Miss Camay's Black Tie Fashion Gala in Seattle, Washington, was hosted by the amazing Ralph Porter. We had the fabulous Rocky Sandoval perform for us at that event. And I partnered with the National Workplace Bullying Coalition at that event as my charity of choice. And that's where my career began on this platform of bullying in the workplace.
And like you said, and I think earlier, even my cousin was saying, basically she was getting bullied in the workplace, in that government type of place, because I know I've not worked in a government place, but I know that a lot of the times it's hard to, once you get in, it's hard to get a person out. So sometimes people think they can do whatever they want to do, and they know they're not going to get fired. And even with working with attorneys, sometimes, the attitude is, I'm an attorney. I can do whatever I want to do.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's going to happen. Like summit interview.
And it makes me think about movie that I just watched. It was a documentary, and it was an attorney who was actually stealing money from his clients. And I can't think of his name, but he was a really, really good attorney, and he was telling people that the check was in the mail. He was waiting for the money to come, and people believed him because he was so much of a prominent attorney in Beverly Hills. But really, he didn't have any money, and he was spending the money that he was getting for his part, and the money that he was getting for the client. So I can see how, it's like, I'm an attorney, and nobody's going to listen to you. You're just because I think your career has been more in like a paralegal. And so who's going to believe you? And so I'm glad that you spoke up. I'm glad that you used the gift of your voice. But what I want to know is a little bit more, because you talk about how pageantry really allowed you to open up your voice and discover your gift. So talk more about that process and what happened when you started pageantry and where you are now.
Oh my gosh, such a long journey. Um, you know, when I first started competing in pageantry, I'll kind of go back to the beginning. I was approached by a state director for the Washington Plus America pageant, the pageant that your friend was competing in as well. And I was essentially recruited, right? And so this director came up to me and she said, my gosh, you're so beautiful. And, have you ever competed in a pageant before? And I was like, no, I'm thinking that's for little girls, right? Little, like toddlers and tiaras type thing, right? And so she said, I'm recruiting for the first ever Washington Plus America pageant. I would love to, share more with you. And so I did a little research into this particular woman. And I saw that her platform was, talking about real women with real bodies making a real difference. And I've always been confident, I've always been plus size myself. I'm of Hawaiian and Italian descent. So I've always, carried my heritage very, very well. But I was like, well, I can get up on stage and look beautiful. Like that's me. That's what I do. Nothing really new. I had no idea the magnitude of being a title holder, actually competing and winning a title, and how powerful that was. One of my very first appearances I made was at a bowling alley in Bellevue, and it was the celebrity bowling event. And I walk into this event, didn't really know where I was going, or what what I was doing at the time, Frankie. But I walk in the door, and it was like they cleared the Red Sea for me, just like the path of people just like cleared and opened and allowed me, to walk into this event. And I was like, wow, like I feel kind of special, walking into this. I don't even know where I'm going. And I was immediately greeted by a woman who ran a youth center down in Renton, down in Renton, downtown Renton, for young girls. And she approached me and she was like, who are you? And what is this? What does this mean? And can you please come and speak to these young girls? And I was, humbled. And again, the assignment, right? I couldn't say no
Right.
at all. And so, Frankie, our youth is so important to our future. They are our future. And so this was an opportunity for me to speak to our future and plant seeds in these young girls, about who they are in Christ, who God created them to be.
Mm-hmm.
To encourage them, don't compete with other women. There's no competition. Something that pageantry teaches us is, yes, it's a competition. Yes, there are only so many crowns that are going to be given out, but you are your own competition. Don't look at the other woman's hair. Don't look at her shoes. Don't look at her coach. Don't look at her. You need to focus on yourself. Focus on presenting yourself, focus on making yourself better. If you focus on other women, you're going to lose because they aren't your competition. You are your own competition. And for many women in pageantry, they think that, that they adopt that concept that they're in competition with other people. I've judged pageantry. I've judged mainstream pageantry. I've judged children's pageantry. I've judged plus size pageantry. And when a new delegate walks on stage, or when a new delegate walks into, her interview with me, they all start with 100 points. They
Mm,
all start winning. When we walk into a room, Frankie, we walk in winning. We walk in with 100 points already.
absolutely.
When, like if your hem is falling out, or you have strings hanging, or your lipstick is crooked, or, your undergarments are seen, those those are when deductions start to happen. But
Mm,
we walk in the door winning. We
right,
do. And so I encourage women. I empower women with that same principle, that they come into this world a winner. The world is challenging. Life is hard. Being relentless in their pursuit, refusing to accept no.
right.
I have refused. I have literally refused to accept no. There is a yes somewhere, always, always. Um, my pageant directors, Mama Nanette and Mama Constance with the Miss Plus World pageant, they have followed my pageant journey for years. They are women of equity. They are women of substance. They are women of God. And their pageant system, the way they run their pageant system, and when they tell their judges, this is what we're looking for in a queen. This is the type of woman that we want to represent our pageant system. They've been doing this for years. They know who they want to pick,
Mm,
right? They know who they want to represent their pageant system. Um, you know, Having the courage and the confidence. So many women today, Frankie, lack the confidence, lack the courage to stand up in front of a crowd, to speak to the president, right? To talk to a lawyer, to talk to a homeless person.
mm-hmm.
And it's because they're not surrounding themselves around other powerful voices, whether they're men or women. And if if men and women continue to stay in that place, they're never going to find their confidence, and they're never going to have their courage. But we are all born with it. It is
Right,
all instilled with us when we are created, before we even enter into this world.
right,
And society doesn't make it a habit, to teach us that. Their programming is very different. And so I push the status quo, I push the envelope, and I do it with class, with confidence, with tact, with professionalism, and a crown.
absolutely. Yes, you do. I love it. I love it. So, what are you doing? Are you doing anything with pageantry now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So currently, I hold a Royal Ambassador title with the Miss Plus World pageant. And I am their sponsorship liaison for the pageant system. So it's my responsibility to uh, procure pageant sponsors, whether they're in kind or monetary. I love it. And for me, it's about building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I like to build relationships with people. I like to support other women. I like to support other small businesses. And for me, it's I'm a businesswoman. I'm a business professional. So it's kind of like my niche, I guess. I'm very, very strong and successful in my ability to procure sponsorships. When I was in Seattle, I was on the air. I was a radio personality over at KKNW AM Talk Radio, and loved being an on-air talent. loved the radio studio, loved reaching, millions of people around the world. And sharing my story, sharing the story of other amazing people, around the world. Because I believe, Frankie, that through pageantry, through standing at the podium, through speaking, summits like this, speaking engagements, we have the ability to touch people's lives and change the trajectory of their life that
Right.
day. We just need more people doing it. I don't need a crown and a sash. I don't need to walk in a gown and regalia to touch someone's life.
Right.
It helps get attention, right?
Right.
But without the regalia, without the crown, this is what I do. And so my pageant directors have recognized that in me, and hence why I am, involved with them on the corporate level of the pageant. Um, I love what I do. I love showing other women, no matter what size they are, no matter how much they weigh, no matter where they come from, no matter what they look like, that they have the power to walk in their God given greatness.
Yes, absolutely. And you are doing it well. So if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way to get in contact with you, Miss Camay?
Well, they can find me on Facebook, Camay Dunn. I'm newly married, so they can find me under Miss Camay as well on Facebook. On Instagram, I'm the Mrs. Dunn, the one and only Mrs. Dunn. I will say that. And then my website. I still coach delegates that compete in pageantry. I business consult with clients who want to start their own business. And I offer free 15-minute consultations on my website, misscamayinternational.com. You can book a consultation with me there directly on my website.
Okay. So I just put that in the chat. So if you want to get in contact with Camay, I know she does a lot of things. I know she's now in Nevada, but I know she does, a lot of work out there. And so if you need to get in contact with her in regards to any kind of legal information that you may need, that she will be able to support you in that. Definitely, if you want to get into plus size pageantry, she can help you with that as well. So it has been a true honor to have you here with us today. I really thank you so much. Is there anything you want to leave the viewers with?
Yes, so I want everyone watching this summit to really understand the depth of their greatness. You were born with your greatness. No one else has what is in you. It is for you and only you. And you have been given an assignment in life to use your gifts and share them with the world. Start with your voice. Start with your voice and speak about your greatness and speak about your power, because regardless of whether you think you're going to make a difference or not, whether you think one person is listening or 100 people are listening, you have the power to touch people's lives and change the trajectory of their life by using your gifts. So do it. Do not wait another day. Use your gifts today.